welcome back to another episode of Lights Out with Ish and Eve. We are obviously not in our usual little white couches this week. Eve has taken the long weekend to go travelling a little bit.
Travelling. I'm visiting my family, so I'm up the coast. But yeah, we are remote. I'm on a farm. I chased cows this morning. I'm actually really tired because Mum woke me up at like 7 a.m. and was like, I need you to help, the cows are on the road. I was like, I was going to sleep in, watch the race, be chill. No, the cows are on the road and we need to go and fetch them. So I trundled through knee-deep grass chasing cows this morning instead of watching the race.
Oh, God.
So.
Fun.
Farm call.
Well, I laid in bed
call.
and... True. I laid in bed and watched the race and went to the gym, enjoyed my public holiday. So
that
anyways,
sounds really nice.
True. But I think that we're both very happy after today's race. Would you not
Yes, I
say?
think so. Yeah, definitely. I've been on a high. It was so nice to just like watch the race peacefully, go get food. Now we can film and it's not like the evening, like just be hella chill
So
with
good.
it. So nice.
I know, I love it. So, obviously, we have a new World Championship leader, and he is our one and only Aussie, Osk. So excited.
Oh my God.
I know.
It's so exciting.
I know. Since 2010. It's been
Mark
15
Webber.
years. Mark Webber.
I know. It's so exciting. It's actually like, obviously like there's a little like Lando fan in me that's a little bit like, oh, that's sad. But again, it's like so early on in the season. Like I think it's going to flip-flop a whole lot like from now, but it's just so exciting. And he's just been so good and so slay. And to see him up there on the podium, the flag, the anthem, the whole shebang, I was just like, yes, that is my boy. Let's go.
So good. He drove so well. Like it wasn't like Bahrain where he could just get out in front and sail off into the distance. He drove really well. McLaren had great race strategy.
For both drivers.
And now, for both drivers, yeah. And now he was already, but the only multiple race winner this year so far.
I know. And now he's extended that.
I know.
Slay. He did
But
so
an
good.
equally important, exciting, like super revelationary news. Ferrari also got on the podium. And
About damn time.
it's about damn time. I mean, obviously Lewis got his sprint win, but like proper
In
podium.
an actual race. Yeah.
In an actual race. It was like a nail biter. The whole race was a bit of a nail biter, but particularly with Charles at the end.
It was good race.
I was doing one of these ones. Watching the race.
I was wondering. I was like, Ishana's going to cry if Charles doesn't hold on to this podium.
Oh, honestly. I was panicked.
Oh, no, it was good. It was
anyway.
like, we were all saying, like, so good to see Charles back on the podium, like, in the interviews, everything. We were like, oh, missed you. It was good to see him. It was good to see him back.
For real. And I think he was quite the good
And
buffer.
you said
between
last episode,
Oscar
you were
and
like,
Max.
if Charles Leclerc gets a podium, I'm wearing Ferrari kit, and here we are.
We are here. I know, I should have bought the cap.
I know. I didn't bring my Oscar Piastri fucking top with me, but I can't keep wearing it. I can't keep wearing
You can't keep wearing the same thing.
I can't keep wearing the same top every time
I
Oscar
know.
Piastri wins a race because I fear all of our content will look the same.
Yeah. Bless.
Anyways,
shall we get into the weekend?
yes, let's do it. So obviously,
All right.
Saudi, very fast street track, very fast corners, straights, everything. It's a good track. I actually really enjoyed the track.
Yes.
Actually, in the race, there was so much more overtaking than I was expecting around a street track.
Yeah. Like, it was all kind of in the same spots, bar a couple, but yeah, there was definitely enough overtaking that it didn't just feel like, okay, this is boring.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there was just, even though, yeah, as you said, there were only a few spots where they could overtake, at least they could. It wasn't like Suzuka where it was, like, literally impossible.
Yes, exactly. But FP1, all the drivers were getting comfy with where the walls were. There was a few little love taps.
Yep, as
Around the
per
circuit.
on a street circuit.
Yes. But Max and Yuki were both looking very close together, which I was very happy for Yuki about. And obviously the big thing was Pierre Gasly topping the timesheets for FP1.
Literally.
And I was like, oh my God, Evie's prediction is going to come in clutch.
And I was looking so good too, like all through practice, all through quali, everything. Like it was looking really good. It's just started pouring rain. It's fine. Like I'm undercover, but like if my hair is blowing in the wind, then that's why. It's just literally started chucking it down. So that's really funny. But yeah, I was like so happy about my prediction. I was like, yes, like we're on. It lasted.
For those who haven't seen it, go follow us on TikTok because that's where we post our predictions, and on Instagram too. But Eve predicted that Gasly would get points again this weekend.
And it was looking good until the fourth turn on lap 1. Which
it lasted not long.
No. Anyway, it's fine.
Dear.
It's okay. At least it gave Lando 2 places immediately.
Exactly. So like we're chilling. It's fine.
Silver linings. Anyway, back to FP1. I don't think that much really happened in FP1. They did say on the commentary, which was really interesting, that oh my God, it's like literally torrential. I mean, a hurricane. I don't think you'll be able to hear it. I don't think you'll be able to hear it on the microphone. I think it will be fine.
Yeah, sure.
You can just background remove noise if you need to.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny. But they were saying on the commentary that Oscar is officially the favourite for the World Drivers' Champion coming into the weekend.
Yeah. Like with all the bookies and stuff. I heard that too, and I was like, well, fair enough.
That's
he
the
is
tea.
Performing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else to say for FP1. If you...
No, I just had like the Williams were also looking strong as well.
They had a great weekend.
Yeah.
They had a really, really great
but,
weekend.
Like, it started very strong in FP1, so they were both clearly very comfortable on the track, which was good.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, moving into FP2,
yes.
Obviously the big thing was Yuki.
Poor
in the wall,
Yuki, bro.
I know, it wasn't even that like big of a like hit or anything like that, but obviously the debris caused the red flag.
Yeah.
But a lot of drivers were having little taps as well, so it's
yeah. It was gonna be one of them, I feel. And it's just a shame that it was Yuki. Like, not what he needed.
I know, because so many, like Antonelli touched it, Hadjar touched the wall, Oscar I think touched it at one point.
Yeah, like everyone was touching the wall. And it's just that one that touches it a little too hard.
Yes, which was unfortunate.
But, yeah, I was like, oh, Christian Horner intensifies.
But he really intensified today after the race.
Oh my God, I know. That was just so funny because it's just like, don't act like you would say anything different if the roles had been reversed. If the roles had been reversed, Max would have done the exact same thing, if not worse, to Oscar on the outside.
And he has. In previous Saudi Grand Prix, that's exactly the move that he's made.
And that's why it's so funny to see him just crash out about it because it's just like, bro, what would you have done? You're just mad that like Oscar doesn't do what maybe like Lando's done in the past and allow him the space to do that. Oscar's like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm going for it. And Max is like, oh, what do you mean?
I know.
It's
Bro
just
was
really
salty.
funny. It's really funny. As soon as they showed the radio message of Oscar being like, oh, he took the place off the track, I was like, wait till Max's radio message. He's going to say he pushed me off. And then like 2 seconds later, it was like, he pushed me off. And I was like, did he really? Anyway,
Shocking.
Let's get back to FP2 because another thing of note was that Bortoletto didn't get out at all in FP2.
Yeah, which sucks.
Yeah, not really ideal for him. Fuel leak, so he had to change the chassis, which is obviously not a quick job. So that was a shame for him, but he's in a Sauber anyway, so...
Yeah, It just sucks because obviously FP2 is going to be the most representative session you're going to get. So yeah, that was unfortunate for him. Did you see Nico in coming out of the pits? He like wasn't on the right angle as he like exited his garage. And then his like team had to go and like rotate the car so that he could turn. Yeah, and then Oscar is like sitting behind him, just like thumbs up, and just like gets on the radio and is like, "Oh dear, Sal did a great job there." Like he's so just sassy.
I love him so much for that. And also Carlos did the same thing in one of the practice sessions, and right in front of Lewis. It's like, it's fine, but it's really funny.
I know. That being said, Carlos, I feel like got a one-up on Lewis this weekend. So
yeah, I mean, Lewis did finish in front of him but on track, but
still.
Yeah,
anyway,
I fully agree. It's like the gap should be bigger than that, and he out-qualified him.
Yeah.
Anyways, Stroll had a spin in FP2.
Yeah, was it Stroll or Alonso?
Stroll, I thought.
Oh, because Alonso had a spin too.
Did he? Maybe it was Alonso and I thought it was Stroll. That is a very real possibility.
Habit.
Force of habit.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it was a big one and thankfully didn't end up in the wall. But yeah, I think that was all I really had for FP2. Did you have anything else?
Same. No. And FP3 as well, I didn't really have that much to say. Like, everyone was kind of picking and choosing what tyre. There was a lot of tyre chat about what they were keeping for quali in the race.
Yeah.
But then McLaren
there was another moment.
Sorry, go.
Oh, sorry. There was another moment where Oscar was being sassy again on the radio when Yuki kind of like impeded him a little bit, and Oscar goes on the radio like, was he blind or?
Oh, so good. So good.
I'm here for it. I always want to have like Oscar's radio just like in my ear the whole time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. Oscar or like Charles, I feel like, or George. Those are the radios that I would like to giggle at through the race.
Agree.
If I had Sky Sports Plus, whatever the fuck, press the interactive button. Like, okay.
Yeah, thanks, Crofty. Appreciate it.
It's like I don't have that button, but okay.
No.
Anyways, FP3 ended with McLaren literally 0.6 ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So that was really good.
I'm sure
but
everybody
anyway.
got that. Then we got into quali, which was not my favourite part of the weekend, to say the least.
That's fair. But in Q1, we had Bortoleto, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Doohan, and Lance Stroll eliminated.
Yes.
Did you hear the stat about Lance Stroll?
Of course I did, and of course I wrote it down to talk about because it's so funny. So the fact that Ishana is referring to is that Lance Stroll is now the driver that has the most Q1 exits ever. He's overtaken our dear friend Kevin Magnussen and now has 75 Q1 exits. And if it wasn't Kevin Magnussen that he'd overtaken, I would probably slander him a lot harder because I quite like K-Mag, so I don't really want to like loop Kevin in with all this. But like normally if people get knocked out in Q1 that often, they lose their seat. So
yeah,
he's only been allowed to get this record because he can't be fired.
Totally. But I think I almost disagree with your point about K-Mag and like that meaning that it's not as bad for Lance. Because like K-Mag was in just back of the grid cars for so long. Like Haas was trash for a long time.
That's a good point.
And that's where he spent so much of his time. So like it almost is way more understandable, whereas Lance Stroll was like in quite a fast racing point. The Aston in 2023 was really good, and it's had like moments of being good, like, you know, here and there.
Yeah.
Since then, like it just to have 75 Q1 knockouts out of, I think it was like 170 something race starts is actually just insane. Like,
It's
you
not
can't
good.
justify that.
I mean, no. I mean, he hasn't been in a consistently good car ever, but he hasn't been in the
but
worst
still.
car. Like, maybe when he was in Williams, it was pretty shit, but like, he hasn't been in the worst car. Like, he's not like he's been in a Sauber or a Haas back in the day when Kevin was driving it, as you were saying.
Exactly. Like,
Kind of really funny.
Just so bad. Oh dear. Obviously, you know, Bortoletto and Hulkenberg getting eliminated is just the Saubering. I felt bad for Jack Doohan getting knocked out again. Like, I know that some of the rumours have settled with, like, Franco taking his seat, and it hasn't been as much of a talking point. But I still don't think he's particularly safe in that seat. And every time this happens, it's just like more and more ammo for them to get rid of him.
Absolutely. And it's like,
which sucks.
With like with a racing incident taking Gasly out, like that's when Alpine are like, we need to be able to rely on someone else, even if they haven't qualified in the top 10, but to fight for points. Like, because obviously Gasly was unfortunate to be taken out of the race, and Doohan's nowhere near the points, so it's like, but also like to your point about like Alpine kind of calming down the rumours, I have not seen Franco once, and I've seen Paul Aaron in the garage, on all the social medias, everywhere. So I'm like, are you just like red herring Franco and you're just going to put Paul Aaron in? Like, what's the goal?
Yeah. I know, or you're
What
trying
is
to
the
get us to
goal?
all like chill, and then you're just going to like be like, psych. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
we are switching him.
Yeah, in any case, like, I kind of rate it because it will take a lot of the questions and pressure off of Jack Doohan in terms of a media sense. Like, I'm sure it's very much still there internally, but at least not everyone's asking him about it all the time. So I feel like that is a positive.
No, 100%. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Yeah.
One other kind of funny thing that happened was, at one point, Fernando was kind of like loitering behind Jack Doohan to like try and pick up a toe before he started his fast lap. And Martin on the commentary is like, personally, I would have brake checked him. Whoa! This is no need for that.
So
personally,
funny.
I would have like, you know, killed his wife.
Caused
and
a
kids.
collision
Like,
in Collie.
How far? Like, yeah, literally, like, how far are we going with this, Martin? That's just so dramatic.
Funny. I know. He would have had such a fat penalty. I mean, he's probably joking, but like, he would have got such a penalty for doing that. Like, even if he hadn't caused a collision, like, it would have ruined Alonso's start of his lap, like, probably got him knocked out of Collie, and like, Jack Doohan would have had a fat penalty. Like, you can't just be doing that. It's so
I was like,
funny.
whoa, Martin, chill.
Like, maybe in your day you can get away with that, but I don't think you can do that now.
That's not okay.
So
anyway,
funny.
That was very funny. Anyways, I think that was Q1. So Q2, then we had Ollie Behrman, Hadjar, Alonso, Lawson, and Alex Albon eliminated, which sucks for Alex because he was knocked out by 7,000ths of a second. Rough.
Crazy. And especially after last week, like being out on a technicality of Hulkenberg's lap time not being deleted fast enough to then be so close to getting into Q3. I mean, at least he actually just got knocked out this time, but like so close, so close.
I know.
I was very happy for Gasly and Tsunoda to go through.
Yes.
Kind of funny, given what happened in the race. But like at that point in time, I was like, good job, guys. Good job, everybody.
I know.
Because that's also when my predictions were looking good too.
Totally. And it was obviously great for Gasly because clearly he's like making leaps and bounds in this car.
Yeah.
And great for Yuki because, you know, the closer he can just be to Max, the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really good. Another like funny commentary moment that happened in Q2, which was when Fernando crossed the line. Crofty on the commentary goes, and Fernando beats off Hadjar and Behrman.
I did not clock that. That's
I was
crazy.
like, Crofty, please.
That's crazy.
I was like, this is a worldwide broadcast. You can't be.
Little insane.
That was a crazy thing to say.
But that's also one of the things that's just like said so innocently, and it's probably as soon as he said it, it was like, nope. But it makes it worse if he were to be like, oh, I didn't mean anyways, like you just have to keep going.
Shall we get into Q3 then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we should.
All right, well, let's just get it out of the way. Lando in the wall. He got on the curb, he lost it, and it was obviously a big moment for the World Championship when that happened.
Yeah, and like, it's really funny because I was just saying to my family, I was like, someone's going to bin it. I was like, someone is going to put it in the wall this quali. Because it's so easy to do, and everyone is so close all the time. Everyone's skimming it, everyone's doing that. So I was like, someone's going into the wall. For sure.
Yeah.
Did not think it was going to be Lando. Can't lie. Didn't think it was going to be him because he's not someone that crashes. Like, it's actually the first time that I've seen him crash out. Like,
on his own.
Yeah, because in Austria, obviously, that was just a bit of contact that had really bad repercussions. And then the other DNF was the Miami sprint when he was just a bowling pin of Lance Stroll, basically.
True.
But yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen either of my drivers actually crash themselves out.
Yeah, fair.
New experience for me.
Yeah, he's
didn't like it.
True. Because he's obviously very like Lando is known for making mistakes, but they don't tend to be the kind of mistakes that end with him in the wall. They're more like end with him getting overtaken or messing up quali or losing the start or whatever. So it's it was quite a dramatic moment. Obviously, Lando was very hard on himself. He was better, I think.
Yes,
than he was.
He was so much better.
Yeah. Was it in Bahrain?
Yeah. When he qualified
where
sixth.
After quali he was very not happy in front of the media. He was a lot better today. Quali.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still.
And I think it's just
a
like
bit hard to watch.
Obviously, he's really hard on himself, and that comes across in the media. But I think it wasn't. It was kind of, I thought, a very reasonable level of disappointed. Like, I don't think he really crashed out. Like, I think his response was valid for the situation. Like, it wasn't like he was really upset or like really crashing out. He was disappointed, obviously, hard on himself as he always is, but he wasn't like kind of
100%.
And I was like,
well, like I said in like I said in the when we were just talking about it, like it was very dramatic for the World Championship. Like, he's now lost the lead. So, and largely because of that moment. So, yeah.
100%.
It was rough.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And it's just like,
felt bad for him.
I know. But it's also so early on in the season that I'm just like, that's why I'm like stoked. Oscar's leading the championship. Would be stoked if Lando was leading the championship. Doesn't really matter at this stage because so much is going to happen still in this season that it's just like, it's going to flip-flop so much. And like, obviously momentum at the moment is so much with Oscar, and he could keep it up for the whole season, but I feel like things will seesaw and things will change, rules will change. Ferrari and Mercedes will bring upgrades. Max will still be a factor always. Like, it's just, I'm so stressed.
Dude, fair. I hear you. But it's exciting though.
It's so exciting.
Because there is very much like this three-way battle at this stage with George just on the outskirts.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could keep changing every weekend potentially.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was kind of Lando's quali.
Yes.
Done and dusted. Max was incredible. His first kind of fast lap, he put him on pole by 1/1000th of a second.
That was crazy.
My guy, you are dragging that Red Bull. I don't think that Red Bull, it's hard to know whether it's as bad as it was at the start of the season now. You know what I mean?
I think it's Probably just as bad. I think there's probably tracks that suit it better than others. Like, I feel like it was just bad. It was especially bad at Bahrain. And I feel like since it's really hard to tell because Yuki's just been doing so much better in it than Liam was. But that also just could be because Yuki is a more experienced and better driver than Liam. So it's kind of really hard to gauge because Max Verstappen is just a factor. So it's really hard to know actually where that car is at. But I don't think it's as bad as they keep saying. By any means.
Yeah. Like, I still definitely think the McLaren is the best car, but I
100%.
don't think that the Red Bull is as bad as everyone was saying it was at the start of the year. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that first fast lap, he was faster than Oscar by a thousandth of a second. And then he puts it on pole by 1/100th of a second.
After Lando had crashed, I kind of got over it, you know, the red flag, whatever. I was like, it is what it is. After that, I was like so locked in on Oscar. I was like, Lando's in the wall. This means Oscar has to get pole. I was like, he has to. There is simply no other option. Now that Lando's out, I was completely locked in. But then it was a double disappointment because he didn't get pole.
Yeah. Well, Red Bull's strategy team really cooked with fueling him up for 2 laps. And then, because
doing a pit stop.
I think no one else even, I think, really thought to do that. And clearly it worked out absolutely in Max's favour. So, amazing job by them. Carlos Sainz was the other talking point that I had for quali, putting it on P6 and was faster than Lewis.
I was so happy for Carlos putting it on P6.
I know.
Such a good effort. Such a good effort.
Yeah, would have been a very just internally happy moment, I think, for Carlos. to put that Williams ahead of
very
Lewis's
satisfying.
Ferrari. I know. And then I'm sure you would have seen Lewis after he got out of the car and was looking at the time screen, just shaking his head.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to get memed for a little while now because that was very funny.
I know. It was very Ferrari as well.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I've seen
Hella on
memes that are
brand.
like showing, you know, that like photo of Fernando in the Ferrari where he's just like dead eyes through his helmet. And it's like, you can't copy the original. And it's like Lewis and then Fernando. It's like what Ferrari does to a man. Ferrari is where world champions go to die.
Honestly, bro was
all
shaking his
these
damn
things.
head, for real.
Oh, so funny.
I cried.
Anyways.
Do you know, something
Sorry.
that's made me really sad recently, actually, is I've seen these memes not like memes, like videos going around of people saying that Charles could be the next Daniel Ricciardo, where like everyone thought that like he was going to win a world championship. There's like no way he wouldn't. And like, it just never quite happened. And I've seen so many of these videos and I'm like, no.
Oh my God. I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Well, I wish I hadn't, quite frankly.
Fair. But that's crazy.
I know.
I mean, if he went to somewhere else, if he left Ferrari, then I feel like that would be the self-fulfilling prophecy, low-key, depending on what happened. Obviously, with Daniel, like, his decision to leave Red Bull kind of did that. But I don't know if he would have been world champion at Red Bull too because of Max. But, like, yeah, it's...
Totally.
That's kind of
But
crazy.
I was just like, I know. So whoever is making those videos and pushing that narrative, I'm going to need you to stop. For my own mental well-being.
Yes. Valid, honestly.
Thanks.
Valid. That's why I keep saying, like, why I want Lando to win this year and Oscar can win forever on after. But I want Lando to get this one because if Lando doesn't win this year, he may never win one.
I know. Well, can I actually
You know what I
make
mean?
a point about Lando and Oscar? Because people
It's cut out.
I keep seeing comments of like, Oscar's only in his 3rd year and like he's, you know, wiping the floor with Lando and blah, blah, blah. And like he's not, but the point stands. Like, for so many of Lando's years at McLaren, he never had the championship winning car that he has now.
Yeah.
So people that are saying like, you know, oh, Oscar's so much better than Lando because he's only in his third year and he's already, you know, ahead in the championship. Like, yeah, he is, but he didn't have all those years where there was no way in hell that was ever going to happen.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
You can't compare like what was going on before Oscar joined McLaren. You just can't.
Totally. And that's like Andrea Stella said, like, the other day. He was talking about, like, Lando is such a big part of the reason why McLaren has come so far. Like, he's been leading that team from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. Like, he's been there, what?
Totally.
6 years now?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So Andrea Stella was like, you can't discount how much of an impact he personally and driving at the team has had on McLaren's rise to success. And I was like, well, that's nice. And now Oscar's be like, oh, thanks for that. I'm going to take you world championship. But cheers.
But yeah, appreciate all your hard work. Thanks. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, thanks for doing my dirty work. I'm just going to win the championship now. Anyways.
But it's a bit like that though. Like, there are drivers who have come into the right team at the right time and won a world championship. And there are drivers who have left the right team at the wrong time and have then not won championships. So
totally.
Like, there is a little bit of luck, I think, involved in how that all plays out. But yeah.
And timing.
Anyway.
For sure.
Yes. So Max was on pole. He was very happy. He hit him with the Simply Lovely.
He did.
On his team radio. And that was Collie. Did you have anything else to say about Collie before we move on? No. So, the race.
Shall we talk about the race?
Let's get into it. Yes. Oscar, great start. And got Max into the first corner. And then it was very tight, and Oscar basically did what Max has done, as we said, in years prior, of, you know, taking the apex. Max didn't have, like, the room to stay on the track, probably should have just backed out, but didn't, and bailed out and went off the track. So it was Oscar's corner, Max should have backed out, didn't, and then Max gets a penalty for going off the track, overtaking Oscar and driving off.
It's almost identical to what happened in Austin last year with Lando, because Max broke later. This is in Austin. Broke later, knew he was going to miss the apex, but made sure to get to the apex first, hence pushing Lando off the track and getting Lando a penalty. But then when Oscar did literally the exact same thing, because Oscar did kind of... But the thing is, in Austin, Max also went off the track. So Max broke way too late and didn't make the corner himself. But Oscar made the corner. Like, Oscar didn't go off the track. So
no,
it's kind of...
Oscar was fine.
Yeah, it was close though.
And the penalty wasn't for pushing another driver off the track. The penalty was for going off the track and gaining an advantage because he overtook Oscar off the track.
Yeah.
And, like, went around the outside. And the problem with that is the 5-second penalty he got, like, he was very close to just being able to get 5 seconds up the road. And that, like, I think it should have been a harsher penalty, probably 10 seconds, or give the place back.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, that dirty air was no one's friend. And it was probably, in the end, like, net gain for Max, because he could just get up the road. Yeah. And dirty air wasn't a problem.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, I think there needed to be a harsher penalty.
Yeah, and I think that, like, I said it earlier, but, like, the way that Max was crashing out about it is just so funny because, like, I was like, you do this all the time, actually.
Yeah. This is straight out the really Max Verstappen textbook.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, God forbid an Oscar Piastri have a champion's mentality.
Crazy.
Max would have been more affected probably if he had just had to give the place back. Because I feel like if he would have had to give the place back, Oscar would have just dropped him. He would have been like, see ya, off into the distance.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then there's also the argument of like, if Max was less than 5 seconds down the road, so it's like without the penalty, would Max have won the race? Which probably then goes to the point of like, he should have given the place back and had a crack at Oscar rather than keeping the place and taking the penalty.
Totally. Yeah. It's, which is again why I say, yeah, it either needed to be give the place back or a bigger penalty. Because it just sucks that like, without the penalty, he would have won the race, most likely. Because, yeah, like you said, he finished less than 5 seconds. And you shouldn't be able to get away with doing something like that and, like, have the choice of, like, getting 5 seconds down the road and getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a choice.
It's a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because also it's like, it is the first corner, and also in Austin, they let Max off of doing that to Lando at the first corner in Austin because it was the first turn. So
yeah, I think the FIA said that too, that like it was meant to be 10 seconds, but it was 5 because it was like lap 1, turn 1. But
yeah. But anyways,
then so that was the first dramatic part of lap 1.
Yes. Then a few corners later, cars just into the wall, and I was like, because I was also like, I'm so worried about Lando starting in the middle of this pack. Middle of the pack is not where anyone wants to be. It's scary back there. I'm not used to my drivers being back in the middle of the pack. Like, I was worried. So when I saw just into the wall, I was like, But then everyone went past, and it was the Alpine of Gasly and the Red Bull of Yuki in the wall.
The besties.
I know. And just pure racing incident, I think. Like, we went back and forth a little bit. Like, it's kind of really funny. I was watching with my family, and my brother's a Yuki fan, and my dad's a Gasly fan. So it's like, they were both like, they were like, it was his fault. I was like, it was no one's fault. Get a grip. It's no one's fault. It was really, really unfortunate for both drivers, though. Like, Yuki, you never want to be crashing in that second Red Bull. It's just not a good place to be. And even, especially like twice in one weekend. And
totally. But Gasly was... Yeah, he was like doing so well, but just... all ended there. Honestly, I think they were quite lucky to only take those, like, each other out, because they were all so bunched up because it was still lap 1. Like, the fact that just the two of them were taken out was kind of really lucky.
I know.
So, yeah, that was just very unfortunate for both of them.
I know.
I think they were both kind of fine about it. They both acknowledged it was just a racing incident. And these things happen.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But that obviously then caused a safety car while they cleaned everything up. They got it all cleaned up pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah.
And then on the restart, Max, I feel like, caught Oscar napping a little bit because he
oh my
took
God,
off
big time. Yeah.
And was out of Oscar's DRS immediately.
Yeah, he got him good with that safety car restart. And it's like, Max is just so good at them. He's so good at them. Mm-hmm. Like, he picked the perfect moment and he was off.
I know. But anyways, it like ended fine for Oscar, obviously. But he was caught napping a little bit there. Then a little bit later, Lando was trying to catch Lewis. And they were playing their like DRS chicken game. And I was like, Lando, come on. Because Lando got DRS on Lewis and overtook him. I think maybe not realizing or just not thinking about it, that immediately there was another DRS like section straight afterwards. So Lewis gets DRS on Lando and gets him right back.
And, like, the first time that it happened, I was like, oh, lol. Like, you just have to overtake him on the second DRS zone. Like, get close enough on the first, but then overtake him on the second one so that he can't get you back immediately. But then the next lap, the exact same thing happened. I was like...
He did it again!
Bruh! I was like, bruh!
Oh, it was, like, very reminiscent of Sergio Perez did that. I think it was in, like, the Red Bull Ring or something like that. Like a year or two ago, and it was like 3 laps in a row. Perez did it. I think it was like on Charles or something like that. And I was like, my guy, you need to work this out.
Get it together. Work it out. Literally. It was so
but yeah,
funny.
Obviously, he didn't learn his lesson straight away, but he got it third time's a charm, and he got it done.
I thought that was really funny. I was having a good old cackle at that. And then obviously he had already got past Carlos, so he was up at this point like 4 places. Obviously the 2 places he gained from Gasly and Tsunoda crashing was very helpful.
Yes.
But yeah, he was up and looking good too. And I was kind of thinking that the strategy of starting him on the hard tyre was looking like a really good move from McLaren.
Yes. Yeah, well, because all of the mediums were starting to kind of come to the end of their life, and Lando was still going strong.
Yeah.
Because then that's when I think Piastri, they pitted Oscar and found a really good window to pit Oscar in.
Yeah, yeah.
And put him on hards, which was a great move, because it ultimately ended with a successful undercut on Max. But in order to do that, Oscar had to overtake Lewis. That was amazing.
That made me shit my pants a little bit, not gonna lie. I was like, oh! But like in a good way.
I was sat there like...
That move was crazy. That move was so good.
So crazy. And like he had to do it on a part of the... They were saying he had to do it on a part of the track that was like Lewis wouldn't be expecting it. And he nailed it. He just went, boom, straight past. Like, whoa.
I wasn't expecting it. I was like, holy fuck. But this is what I love about Oscar. Like, he be overtaking in the most random parts of the track. Totally. And just, like, makes it work. It's like, you can't overtake...
Just surprise, shawty.
Oh, you can overtake there, actually. So maybe the problem isn't that you can't overtake on this track. It's maybe that no one has the balls that Oscar Piastri does.
True. Because that was a ballsy move.
It was really good. It's actually in my favourite moments because holy fuck.
Valid.
That was good.
Yeah. And just like the pace. I was like, did you just like crank your engine up or something to like get that extra speed over Lewis? Like, where did that come from?
Did you just like not brake into the corner?
Yeah. Like, what is going on?
Oh, it was so good.
But yeah. That was amazing. Another kind of funny moment around when all this was happening, I think it was like lap 25-ish, Bortoletto making contact with Fernando Alonso.
I thought that was later, but anyway, that was really funny.
Yeah. Like, my guy that's your manager. Maybe don't do that.
That is your dad.
Yeah.
But also, like, in the cool-down room, when Oscar was like, oh my God, that was Gabby too. I wonder if he's got a flight home tonight.
Yeah. So funny.
Yeah.
Like, bless. You would, as Bortoletto, feel like, I'm sure he kind of went up to Alonso, like, after the race with his tail between his legs a little bit, like, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. I didn't mean to. Whoopsie. Yeah. Also, before Lando took the lead of the race, something that I thought ended up being super important was Charles's first stint was incredible on the mediums.
He was flying, yeah.
Like his first stint, because he obviously ended up another couple laps, he would have been another victim of Lando, but like he stayed out so long on that medium that the tyre offset of Lando's medium to his hard at the end wasn't enough. Like he extended that stint on the medium so much longer than everyone else on the medium, and it kind of ruined McLaren's strategy of Lando staying out that much longer on the hard, because then the tyre offset wasn't enough for McLaren to jump him. So I thought he did incredibly well on his first stint on the mediums.
He did.
And I kind of think that is what... That, and also, like, I think Lando wasting the time trying to get past Lewis by playing chicken also potentially could have cost him that podium as well, but that also paired with Charles's incredible first stint. Like...
Yeah. The Ferraris were Lando's kind of pain. The pain in Lando's ass over this weekend.
You were trying to figure out how to say that.
Unfortunately.
You were like, they were his.
I know, I was like,
his
the
arse.
pain.
His
I was like, the thorn in his side, I was trying to work out.
The thorn in his ass.
Yeah. The words were not happening. I've been off work for 4 days, so my brain is just absolutely clocked up.
Oh, don't remind me. I have to go back to fucking work tomorrow. Cry. Anyways.
Sad. But anyway.
It turns out that everyone that pitted early under the safety car, that didn't end up being
really
a good
do
decision.
anything.
Like, it was worth a gamble.
I was like, totally. Because I was like, oh, is this just going to be Monaco again, where everyone's pit after a lap 1 incident and then no one's going to pit the rest of the race? But
I think that they were probably banking on... I feel like they were probably banking on another safety car later in the race.
Yeah.
But everyone that stopped under that safety car ended up having to stop again and finished at the back. So it didn't turn out to be a good idea. But it was worth a gamble.
No,
for sure.
Exactly.
But
after Charles pitted, then Lando was leading the race and Oscar was kind of hunting him down. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Lando hadn't pitted yet. And then I think once Oscar got close enough that Lando's dirty air was affecting him, McLaren then brought Lando into the pits. So that
it was like almost exactly when Oscar was in that 2-second mark, like that dirty air gap. It was like as soon as he was in there, they were like, all right, that's enough. But that's kind of what they had to do, like, because it probably would have been better for their strategy to leave Lando out a little bit longer, but at the same time, you can't go doing that when it's going to ruin Oscar's race. So they split the middle, and this is what I think, like, they really did so well with Oscar's strategy and with Lando's strategy. And I'm like, how come you guys just have a mental breakdown when they're running next to each other? Like, you can clearly strategy, but you just have an anxious break when you have to, like, pick between the two. And I'm like,
totally, you just can't handle it.
Literally, there's no number one driver thing. It just makes them have a mental breakdown whenever they have to sort out a strategy when they're running right next to each other. But when they're running completely separate, no problems. Good strategy all round. You get a good strategy. You get a good strategy.
Yeah. I'm sure Zach and Andrea are very happy that so far this season, like, Oscar and Lando have not really been together on the racetrack. And I'm sure it will happen.
They have,
but I'm sure they're happy that it hasn't yet.
So scot-free so far.
I know.
We say it every weekend. We're like, yet again, they got away with not having to do anything about it.
I know.
But
I know.
Anyways.
But yeah. So then Lando came into the pits and then Charles was hunting down George and that was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
I was because it was like clear that he was inevitably going to catch him. So I was eating that up.
Yeah. You're like, it's been a while.
And I was like, let's go.
Yeah. That's so funny.
And then obviously once he got past him, his engineer was like, well done, Charles. And Charles was like, thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Oh, they're so good. I love them. That was really funny. I've seen some memes about that as well.
Yeah.
Then Liam Lawson got a 10-second penalty.
Bro, he just can't catch a break.
Literally can't catch a break. He has had so many penalties. I wonder how many penalty points he's on. Because it's got to be a lot.
Yeah, well, not every penalty leads to a penalty point on your license, but yeah.
No, but he's like, last week he had about 4 different penalties. Surely that was a few points.
Yeah.
And then a 10-second penalty. Like, he kind of is racking them up. Yeah.
Okay, according to like Google's AI thing, Liam Lawson currently has 5 penalty points on his super license for his collisions at the 2024 Qatar Grand Prix and in Bahrain.
Yeah, and then maybe more as well from this weekend, but who knows?
From this weekend, potentially.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then we were sort of getting towards the end of the race, like the last sort of 10, 15 laps, and the Williams and Hadjar battle was very cool. Obviously, Carlos was kind of just dragging Alex around to make sure that like Isaac didn't get in, because I think he would have. I know.
He
we
would have
do.
100%. Carlos was dragging him around for like 10 laps when they were all like this close together. Hadjar 100% would have got him, I reckon.
But yeah, for sure.
It was good to see them working together.
It was.
And getting their double points, which was amazing.
Yes. So good for Williams. Carlos's best finish so far in that Williams car.
He's getting up and up.
He's clearly working himself out there, which is nice.
Yeah.
Didn't quite finish in front of Lewis, but that's okay.
It's all right.
As I say that as a Ferrari fan, I should be like happy that that's
True. I'm like, are you a Ferrari fan or are you just a Charles and Carlos fan? And they used to be teammates.
Yeah, this is a good question. I mean, and then, well, speaking of Charles, I was then absolutely on the edge of my seat, like I said, watching through my fingers, like praying that Lando didn't catch Charles at the end.
I was praying that he did, obviously, but once it kind of got to, like, at the rate that he was catching, once it kind of got to about 3 laps to go, 3 or 4 laps to go, I was like, nah. Like, Charles...
it was, I think on the... You go, sorry.
I was going to say, like, Charles was so much racier than I thought he was going to be. And he was keeping, like, Lando didn't close him down nearly as fast. And I think it's because he extended that stint on the medium so much that Lando's tyre advantage wasn't as big as it could have been. And what McLaren would have been wanting to get Lando onto that podium. But that being said, it was nice to see Charles back up there and back on the podium.
It was, I know. And, like... I think at on the third last lap, Lando did like a push lap and then was like recharging again on the second last lap to then try one more time on the last lap. And thankfully it just wasn't quite enough. Because it was very exciting to see Charles on the podium again. And honestly, like in that cool down room, thank God he was there because like Oscar and Max Max mostly was not happy.
No, it was like really
when they
funny.
It was, and like when they played the replay of their turn 1 incident, I think Oscar just turned to Charles and just like was like, let's just chat for a second, and okay, that clip's gone. All right, now we can keep watching the rest of the video.
Yeah, it was like through that clip, it was just like silence. And like Oscar was just, I think Oscar did really well as an introvert in that situation to just style it out and just start talking to Charles. Like, good job.
I know. Because Charles was such a good buffer.
100%. And then it was just like a bit of a yap sesh between Oscar and Charles, which was really funny.
Totally.
I thought it was really funny after the race on the commentary. They're like, you're leading the world championship. Like, how do you feel? He's like, I could use a couch.
Yeah. It's like, I'm tired.
Oscar, come on. You're leading the world championship. Just let me sit down, bro.
I'm tired. Yeah, I think at one point he was like, oh yeah, our biggest upgrade that we brought this weekend was that the water bottle was working.
That's my goat.
Oscar, please.
That is my goat.
Slaking.
Honestly, he's so funny.
But obviously... Massive congrats to Oscar because
100%.
Incredible race, won. Didn't just drive out into the distance. Max kept him on his toes the whole time. McLaren nailed the strategy and he stayed very cool, calm and collected and got it done.
Yeah. There was a few moments where he was getting a little spicy. Spicy for him is like talking like 1.25 times faster than normal. But like when he was like trying to clear the back markers and he was like a bit like, but that is like full-blown crash out panic for Oscar Piastri.
Totally. Yeah. That was like everyone else's like calm state.
Yeah.
That was Oscar like
literally. But he did so well, like very much like managed it front to end.
Totally.
Drove his race, did what he needed to do. Undercut, great job from the team, overtook when necessary, and just started out.
He did. He ate, for real. I was very happy for him.
Yeah.
Also because I went for Oscar in my lunch bet at work, and so...
Oh my God, slay. Who did they go for? Max again?
No, Lando.
Bruh, come on.
I know, for real.
Anyways,
that was funny. Also, when the race finished,
No, you go.
When Max and Charles got out of the car and just started their little yap session again, I was like, we're back.
Literally. Yeah, their yap sessions are really
the Max
good.
and Charles yap.
Yes.
Yap.
I mean, my favourite is the Oscar
standard.
Lando yap, but that's just because I'm a
True.
McLaren fan and it means they're both on the podium. But
True.
the Max
I do
Charles
love
yap.
a Max and Charles yap.
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
After the race, Carlos got stuck in his car.
Oh my
Like,
God,
couldn't get-
yes.
It was
And then
posted
someone
on,
from
the F1
Sauber.
Instagram account.
Yeah. Someone from Sauber
Had
helped
to like
him.
come over and like help him out.
Oh, Carlos. Oh,
Yeah.
Carlos. What do we do with you?
You're doing your best. But yeah, I think that's it. Did you have anything else about the race?
No, I was going to say let's get into some awards potential.
Who was your biggest winner?
Yes. My biggest winner were McLaren drivers. I think Oscar, obviously we just spoke about that. Like, I think he was a huge winner, obviously leading the world championship, race winner, did so well. And also Lando as well, to come from P10 to P4, like damage minimization after the crashing quali is a win. And my last one was Williams, double points.
Yeah, agreed. I had, Oscar, obviously, and Charles just getting on the podium, like, great race for him and for Ferrari. Incredible.
So good.
Biggest loser, who did you
Biggest
have?
loser, I had Yuki and Pierre, obviously.
Fair.
Kind of a little bit more so Yuki because of the 2 crashes in one weekend in that second Red Bull.
That's true. True.
Yeah, they were kind of my 2.
Fair. I had Lando losing the world championship lead to his teammate.
Yep.
Probably doesn't feel so good.
No.
I had Jack Doohan finishing down in P17. Just like, you are not live, laugh, loving, unfortunately. And same with Lewis, just really like unable to come to grips with that car, even though obviously he finished like P7, I think. He just can't seem to work himself out in that car.
I know.
So.
But it kind of makes sense. Like, obviously it's taken Carlos a little bit and I feel like he's finally getting there. But Lewis was in that Mercedes for 10 years. Like, it's so much of a bigger change. So it's kind of makes sense that it's taking a little bit longer for him to come to grips with it, but it wouldn't feel good. He wouldn't be having a good time.
No, not at all. Silliest surprise?
Silliest surprise. Oh my God, I didn't write it down. What was it? I had one and I forgot to write it down because I was driving. Fuck.
That's all right. I can share mine while you think of yours.
I had a really good one. I had a good one too.
Mine was Charles holding onto his P3.
Yes.
I don't know how he did it, but he managed his tyres so well and just drove a phenomenal race.
Yes.
So that was my silliest surprise.
That is a great silly surprise. This isn't the one that I thought of and I'm really pissed that I can't think of it, but Lando crashing in quali was a horrible surprise.
True.
And also a bit of a silly surprise, but that's not the one that I was thinking of.
Fair.
If I think of it before the end, I will
by the end.
Spit it back out. But
nice. Biggest meme?
I've seen a few good ones actually. Let me pull up my camera roll because I just screenshotted a few. One of my favorite ones was it's like a photo of this little baby seal. I'll show the camera and then I'll show you. Where are you? Fuck, there. And it's Alonso, bois, all of us.
Oh, yeah. I was like, Kimi Räikkönen?
I know, because then I also have this one. It's a picture of Kimi Räikkönen as Jesus, and it says, "And on Easter he has risen."
True. That's so funny. Oh my god.
And then as a third meme, it's this guy with a laser pointer, a little laser pointer, and it's like Jos Verstappen on a balcony at T10.
I saw that one.
I thought that was really funny as well.
That was funny. Fair. Mine were just like, I've seen so many of like the Lewis staring at the timing screen, all of the memes associated with that clip.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Max in the cool down room, just absolutely ice cold, while like Charles and Oscar are trying to like, you know, be a bit of positive vibes, and he's just like,
yeah, he was not having a good time. And also him on the podium, he was literally,
I know.
We thought he walked off.
Like, I've had enough.
We were like, did he just walk off? But he didn't. But he was
not up there for long.
No.
And his post-race interview, he was like, I'm going to keep this short, said like 2 sentences, and then was like, see you later.
Yeah. I was like, oh, and he's off.
I know. I mean, you know, fair enough. Like, and like we said, I think last week, I think Lando needs to take a page out of Max's book there, and when you're not okay and you're not, you know, you're frustrated and things haven't gone your way, sometimes you just need to take control of the media a little bit and just do what you need to do and get out. Obviously, I think Max maybe took it to a bit of an extreme, particularly on the podium, but yeah.
But it's, again, the kind of thing that Max can get away with. Like, can you imagine if Lando behaved like that on the podium?
Oh,
everyone would have his head on a stick.
For his head. Yeah.
Yeah, anyways. Do you have a favourite moment?
I do. It was the last like 10 or 12 laps when Charles hunted down George and then was like hanging on for P3 for his life. And I was just like, I was almost like, do I just skip to the end so I can work out whether or not he stays on P3 so I don't have the feeling of like panic, or do I watch it through? And I watched it through, but I was like so stressed.
That's hilarious.
But it was so good, obviously, because he held on to P3. So that was my favourite moment. What about you?
Absolutely. Mine was Oscar's overtake on Lewis. 100%. Because I had me like so out of my seat. I was like, oh my God. And it was like such a good move, like we spoke about earlier. But I just think it was like such like a staking his position. He's like, no, I am fighting for this world championship and I'm going to show everybody how good I am. So
totally. So good.
Yeah.
I agree. I loved that. It was so good. Did you have a useless stat? I mean, obviously we talked about the Lance Stroll one, but...
Yeah, that was the only one that I had.
Fair. The only other one that I found was Oscar has now been 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st in the Drivers' Championship over the last 4 races.
Yeah,
so
that's quite cool.
Mans has been working his way up.
I mean, he can't go anywhere from here.
No, it's only down, but he can hold it.
He can hold it.
That's fine. We're good with holding it.
There's been a lot of good vibes around the Oscar taking the World Championship lead on our Instagram. Go follow us over there if you don't already. A lot of people, we posted a little like predictions chat box and I loved watching all of them come through. I was like, T, love.
I know, they were so good. And then I posted one today that was like a chat that someone had sent about Oscar leading the World Championship. And they were like, oh, we want, I want Grilled to keep doing their Oscar burgers or whatever. And I was like, well, maybe they can Grilled should do it if Oscar wins a championship. And I like tagged Grilled in it and they liked it.
I know, so I saw that. I was like, oh, hey,
if
Grilled
the Grilled
burgers.
burger comes back.
Grilled, let's link. I don't eat meat, but let's link.
I do. Some vegetarian options and regular people options.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Cool. No, it's fine.
Probably not much. Anyway.
I do not care at all. We're off to Miami.
Wait. Driver of the day.
Oh, fuck, true.
Who was your driver of the day?
Oscar.
Fair.
And Lando.
I agree. I mean, Max obviously was voted the driver of the day.
Yes.
And he drove a good race. I just, once again, think that there were people that did a better job or drove a better race. I think Oscar drove a better race. I think Lando drove a better race. And I think Charles drove a better race.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as much of a shot in the dark as some of the other driver of the days have been so far this year. So I don't have that much of a bone to pick about it. Also, people in our comments were taking us saying that Lewis shouldn't have been driver of the day so seriously. And I thought that was really funny. That's one of my memes. Some of the people being like, well, driver of the day. I was like, wow, it's not that serious.
Wow.
But I thought, like, it's not as much of a shot in the dark. But I think, even like Lando driving, obviously he shouldn't have been that far back, but he drove really well. Charles drove really well, and Oscar, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, Max drove well as well, but.
Totally. But anyways, that was just my 2 cents. Anyways, Miami. Go ahead.
Yes, sorry. Why do I always forget an award? I feel like I do this all the time, actually. We're off to Miami. Well, we're not. I wish we were. But
I wish. We did not win the Williams giveaway.
Or the Formula One.
Miami tickets. I know.
0 from 2.
One of these days, F1 Unlocked is going to come our way.
Please. Or someone can just take us. That's also an option.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Williams Racing. Grilled? Yeah. I feel like the ship has sailed on that one because that would have been the Australian Grand Prix.
That would have been Melbourne 2026.
Yeah.
Anyway.
See you there, grilled. But obviously the birthplace of Lando winning races.
Correct.
So
very
good
exciting.
Vibes.
I know. It was, we've got another sprint weekend for Miami as well.
I think.
But yes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how, I mean, defending champion isn't such a thing in F1. Like,
no.
It is like for the world championship, but like the fact that you won a race.
Not for races.
No. I was going to say, like, I wonder, it's obviously Lando's first win. So I wonder how he's going to do going into a race that he is the reigning winner at. But I feel like it's not really a big thing in F1. So.
No.
I think it'll just be normal.
I think the Miami track is really cool. The little whole like Mickey Mouse section and like I think it's a very cool track. I was playing it on the F1 game the other day and I was like, this is a cool track. So yeah, I'm very excited to see some good racing. Last year in the sprint, Danny Rick did really well. Came P4.
But RB had the best livery.
Yes, they actually did. That is maybe the best livery I've ever seen.
And I'm really excited to see some more cool liveries, hopefully, for Miami this year. Because obviously Ferrari had their blue livery, which was not actually blue, but like they were blue. They wore blue, and I thought that was cool.
Yes, I liked that. So we'll see who comes up with some cool
liveries.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
But otherwise, I think that's it.
Who was on the podium? Lando, Max, Charles. Yeah. Could be a repeat, but I think Oscar Piastri will have something to say about that.
I think he will too. So we'll see if I'm in red again next week.
Yes. And I think I need to buy a new McLaren top because I can't keep wearing the same one every week.
True.
But anyways, I think that's that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're listening, please give us a 5-star review because it really helps us out. And if you're watching on YouTube, like the video, leave us a comment on your thoughts and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And we'll see you next time. Bye.